And now let's shift our focus to the story that possibly will have huge ramifications. This is happening just weeks after the Assam government took its very first step on the path of the UCC. That is one nation, one law. Now the Chief Minister has thundered in the assembly. He's challenging the opposition. The opposition that continues to oppose the cabinet's decision to repeal the Muslim Marriage Act. Now, in a fiery speech, he's told the protesting Congress and the AIUDF MLAs, and allow me to quote, "As long as I'm alive, I will not allow child marriages to happen in Assam," unquote. He further adds that he will continue to fight until he completely shuts down the shop of the opposition by 2026, which he says has ruined the daughters of the Muslim community. First up, this is the Assam Chief Minister.
आप लोग सुन लीजिए, असम में चाइल्ड मैरिज नहीं होने दूंगा जब तक मैं जिंदा हूं। हम होने नहीं दूंगा जब तक हिमंता बिस्वा शर्मा जिंदा है, तब तक असम में चाइल्ड मैरिज नहीं होगा। आप सुन लीजिए, मैं आप लोगों को पॉलिटिकली चैलेंज करना चाहता हूं। 2026 सन का पहले मैं ये दुकान बंद कर दूंगा।
Now, the opposition, Congress, the AIUDF, both staged walkouts from the Assam Assembly when this discussion was going on. They've protested this decision by the state cabinet to repeal the Assam Muslim Marriages and Divorces Registration Act. This is an act, remember viewers, that was made in 1935. 1935. Now, the All India United Democratic Front had earlier moved an adjournment motion also to discuss the cabinet decision, but the Speaker, Biswajit there, denied it. The Congress argues that the amendments could have been made to the act instead of completely repealing it.
एक हमने हड़ताल लगाया था, हमने विरोधी पक्ष AIUDF की तरफ से आसाम कैबिनेट ने लिए हुए जो डिसीजन है मुस्लिम मैरिज एंड डिवोर्स एक्ट 1936 को उन लोगों 35 को उन लोगों ने रिपील करने के लिए जो डिसीजन इन लोगों ने कैबिनेट में लिया है, हम उसके विरोध में एक एडजर्नमेंट मोशन लाया था, लेकिन वो मोशन हमने रेस करने भी नहीं दिया। स्पीकर महोदय ने हमारा माइक, हमारा कैमरा सारे कुछ बंद करके सिर्फ मुख्यमंत्री को, हिमंत बिस्वा शर्मा को हिंदी में आज भाषण देने के लिए मौका दिया। इसका जरिए ये भी होता है हम हमारा हक के बात बोलने वाला था।
They must announce the cabinet decisions before going public to in the house. But we have seen our minister has cabinet has passed a decision to repeal the Assam Muslim Marriage Special Provision Act 1935, and they have announced it in Paris before telling us, before informing the House. So we wanted to raise some questions, but the Speaker did not allow. So we walked out again for the second time for 10 minutes now.
So that is the political war of words that continue to escalate. Now, in the middle of all this is this comment that has come in from the AIMIM chief, Assuddin Owaisi. He's criticizing the Assam government's decision to repeal the Muslim Marriage Act, and he's alleging that the BJP Islam reform claims conceal Hindutva agenda. And the All India United Democratic Front, on the other hand, claims that the BJP is selectively only and only targeting the Muslims.
है बीजेपी के लोग, नहीं हम इस्लाम में रिफॉर्म लेकर आएंगे। अरे तुम रिफॉर्म नहीं लाना चाहते हो, तुम हिंदुत्व को लागू करना चाहते हो। तुम भारत की तहजीब क्या है? इसकी भारत एक ऐसा मुल्क है जहां पर लोग कई मजहब को मानते हैं, कोई खुदा को भी नहीं मानते। ये मुल्क ऐसा जहां पर एक जबान नहीं, हजारों जबानें बोली जाती।
So is there any merit in what you've just heard from Assuddin Owaisi? Or much like a lot of other politicians, he's also fear-mongering. Child marriage, remember, is a social evil that the country still continues to fight against. It's good to have Umideka Barua. She's a BJP spokesperson on the panel. Gargi Nandi is also a political analyst on the show. Along with Lokesh Jindal, he's a political analyst. He leans towards the Congress quite often. Shahid Ali is also an advocate. And Champak Kalita is from the AIUDF. And Champak ji, let's begin this conversation by asking you that what should be the problem against child marriage? I mean, are we all not on board that we should get rid of the social evil called child marriage? Why do you see Hindu versus Muslim here? Hindu-Muslim आप लोग क्यों बनाते हैं इसको?
देखिए, ये चाइल्ड मैरिज से इसका कोई लेना देना नहीं है। ये टोटली रियासत का ऊपर सियासत का हमला है, जिससे हिंदुस्तानी माशरे, हिंदुस्तानी जमहूरियत का मुस्तकबिल खतरे में है। ये खतरे की घंटी है। और देखिए, जहां तक चाइल्ड मैरिज की बात है, आसाम में आईपीसी सीआरपीसी लागू है। कोई भी 18 का नीचे, कोई भी 21 का नीचे लड़का या 18 का नीचे की लड़की, कोई पुजारी शादी करे, कोई काजी शादी करे, कोई मंदिर में शादी हो, वो काजी और पुजारी, उसका माँ बाप, वो लड़का सब अरेस्ट होगा। वो कानून अभी आसाम में लागू है। इसीलिए टोटली ये इलेक्शन गिमिक है और हिंदुत्व या हिंदू राष्ट्र का स्लो इम्पोजमेंट है और एंटी मुस्लिम स्टेप है टोटली।
अच्छा, आप कहते हैं एंटी मुस्लिम है। इससे पहले मैं आपके पास काउंटर क्वेश्चन के लिए आऊं, उमी डेका बरुआ, हाउ वुड यू रिस्पॉन्ड टू व्हाट यू जस्ट हर्ड फ्रॉम द AIUDF? आर यू टारगेटिंग अ कम्युनिटी हियर? इज द आइडिया ओनली टू पोलराइज?
No, actually, Uniform Civil Code is defined in our Constitution under Article 44 of Directive Principle of State Policy, and it states that it is the duty of the state to secure for the citizen of Uniform Civil Code throughout the territory of India. And I just want to tell you one thing, that Assam is not the first state. Assam will be the third state to introduce Uniform Civil Code. And already we know that today in Assam Assembly, CM also he said that time already has come to make India true secular nation, and it will integrate India. And I just want to tell one thing, that last up to 2023 October, related to child marriage, more than 4,000 are already arrested from Assam government. And it's not, they opposition are trying to politicalize it, but it's actually not relevant. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar was the father of Uniform Civil Code in India.
I just want to put out a little bit of data. See, there is a good amount of politics on this. Let's accept it. There is a lot of politics right now happening. The Lok Sabha elections are around the corner. Umi, the last time around when the Assam government went for a full crackdown against child marriages, 62% of those behind bars are Muslims. Then you've also tried to cap the number of children one can have to be eligible for new government schemes, is what the opposition alleges. They also say there is a bill now to ban polygamy. So is a particular community under the target, Lokesh? Would you welcome this particular step by the Assam government? Child marriage is something that you cannot see a Hindu versus Muslim divide in, Lokesh.
But you do not chop off the head to cure a headache.
Lokesh goes first to me, then I'm going to come back to you. Lokesh.
Yes. You do not chop off the head to cure a headache. If there were certain shortcomings in the already existing law that was dated back to 1935, the way an amendment was introduced in 2010, which had made it compulsory to have a marriage registered, a similar amendment could have been moved that could have raised the marriage age to 18. However, now that the Assam government has completely repealed the act, the Muslims, they would be required to have their marriages registered under the Special Marriages Act. Now, this is not as per the constitutional ethos. So, Assam government, rather than politicizing this sensitive issue, it could have dealt with this issue the manner in which it ought to have been dealt.
Okay, so Lokesh is asserting this is against the constitution. Umi, I know you want to come in, and Garge ji, give me another 30 seconds. I want to get the advocate on the panel, Shahid Ali ji, for his perspective also here. Shahid ji, आपको लगता है कि ये जो हुआ है, ये कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन के खिलाफ है? बहुत सारे लोग ये पूछ रहे हैं कि अब जो मुस्लिम कम्युनिटीज में शादी होगी वो कैसे होगी, क्या वो रजिस्टर भी हो पाएगी या नहीं, क्योंकि आपने पूरे एक्ट को रिपील कर दिया है।
अभी आपने हेमंत बिस्वा साहब की शक्ल देखी, उनकी असेंबली के अंदर की तस्वीरें आपने चलाई, इस तरह लगे जैसे ही हैज वेज्ड वॉर अगेंस्ट मुस्लिम्स। इस तरह से वो अपने आप को प्रोटेक्ट कर रहे हैं।
शाहिद जी, आप कहते हैं वॉर अगेंस्ट मुस्लिम्स, नॉट वॉर अगेंस्ट चाइल्ड मैरिज। यू आर alleging this is a war against Muslims.
वो इस तरह से प्रोजेक्ट कर रहे हैं जैसे ही हैज वेज्ड वॉर अगेंस्ट मुस्लिम्स। देखिए, चाइल्ड मैरिज की जहां तक बात है, आप उसमें अमेंडमेंट करके 18 साल कर सकते थे। आपको देखिए वो एक्ट क्या है, इतना खूबसूरत एक्ट है कि साहब उसमें रजिस्ट्रेशन होगा मैरिजेस का। Muslim marriages have to be registered. Now you repeal that, and you have been representing to public at large, the entire nation, entire world, as you have done something against Muslims. Basically, you have done against Constitution. Basically, you have done against Hindustan. by way of repealing this act. Why? What is the reason?
Okay, Gargi ji does not agree with you. Let's get her opening comments. Let's get her opening comments. Shahid ji, you've put out your point very strongly. Gargi ji, you know, there is a very thin political divide. There are those who are saying this is unconstitutional. Then there are those who are saying that child marriage has to be done away with.
See, you know, thank you for inviting me. You know, I'm appalled that people who otherwise shout from the rooftop about secularism, when a law on marriage and divorce comes, which is a secular law of 1954, they are protesting. See, this is nothing against any religion, any society. For evolving, it has to go through certain reforms. We also have abolished Sati Pratha, child marriage, and Muslim women have suffered for centuries torture and exploitation. This is to protect them. What are the laws? You know, Talaq-e-Hasan. Every month they're divorcing a woman over letters. Talaq, then nikah mutta, nikah halala. You think those are justified for the women? And let me tell him, even Muslim women, there was a survey across the country on UCC, and 67.2% of Muslim women who were surveyed, they supported UCC in matters of marriage, divorce, adoption, and inheritance. So in this kind of cases, why shouldn't you take the opinion of the Muslim women?
Okay.
67% supported it, and I'm talking about a survey. Sir, you can also Google and find it out. That
Okay, Gargi ji, you make a very good point. You make a very good point, and I do remember Lokesh and Shahid ji, you would also agree. Champak ji, आप भी ये बात मानेंगे कि जब ट्रिपल तलाक के खिलाफ भी पूरी लड़ाई लड़ी गई थी, तभी बहुत सारे ऐसे लोग थे जो लगातार ये भ्रम फैलाते थे कि ये तो मुस्लिम महिलाओं के खिलाफ है, ये मुस्लिम्स को दबाने की कोशिश है, मतलब ये दिखाने की कोशिश है कि इस कंट्री में किसकी चलती है. But why don't you, Umi, respond to, you know, this criticism that both Shahid ji, Champak ji and Lokesh have also raised, that if the idea was just to do away with this child marriage, if the government was serious, you could have actually first amended the portion which you believe is in contravention. You could have specified that the marriage of brides and grooms of legally marriageable age only can be registered. Why didn't you do this?
No, actually, okay, first I want to tell that without naming the proposed bill effectively ban polygamy child marriage, because in Assam, if you see that Assam in many Muslim organizations, so they are also against the child marriage. Because child marriage is already, I already told you, related more than 4,000 who are related with the child marriage, human trafficking, women trafficking. Recently, last 20 days from Assam, many women are for women trafficking. So if all are related with this, 8,035 Muslim women are involved by many agencies, and they support the Uniform Civil Code. The Uniform Civil Code includes the Hindu Marriage, Hindu Succession Act, Indian Divorce Act, Parsi Marriage Act. And actually, I just want to tell one point is that if we are a citizen of India, then we should respect the Constitution. Secularism.
But Umi, a lot of our panelists today believe that what the Assam government has gone into, what you ventured into, Lokesh, you are again reiterating that is against the Constitution. Now, Umi says that if you want to fight social evils, we all need to come together, Lokesh. Is it okay to, you know, view everything through a religious, through a casteist prism only in the country? Lokesh, Gargi, I'm going to come back to you. Gargi, allow me 30 seconds. I will come back to you, Lokesh.
Supreme Court, in a very famous Bombay case, it has stated that there must be a balance between fundamental rights and directive principle of the state policy. We cannot superimpose one above another. So the state is required to legislate laws, keeping in mind that constitution and constitutionalism must adhere to. Now, whenever there are social legislations of this sort are imposed upon by to be limited. You give an unfettered power to the state to enter into any sphere. How a person ought to live.
But Lokesh, many would say he's an elected chief minister. He's an elected chief minister. He has the numbers. He has the majority, no? Champak ji, I know Gargi wants to comment, but Champak ji, बहुत जल्दी से आप मुझे ये बताइए कि आप सब ये कहते हैं कि अनकॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल हो रहा है. आप कोर्ट में जाके सर चैलेंज करिए ना इसको. इससे पहले कि आप लोगों में जाकर एक भ्रम फैलाएं कि ये सब मुसलमानों के खिलाफ है, आप लीगली इसको चैलेंज करिए चंपक जी।
आपने बोला कि ही है मेजोरिटी इलेक्टेड चीफ मिनिस्टर, यही तो मसला है। मेजोरिटी थॉट कभी भी नहीं होना चाहिए।
Majority means the numbers. No, that is what. Because I am a student of political science. I will say majority of numbers. You are a राजनेता सर, इसलिए आप बोलेंगे majority of a community.
देखिए आसाम हिंदुस्तान में नीचे से 5 नंबर है और हिमंत बिस्वा को बोलना चाहिए कि मैं जब तक जिंदा हूँ आसाम को ऊपर से 5 नंबर बनाऊंगा। तो ये तो आसाम में कोई मसला ही नहीं है।
ठीक है, ठीक है चंपक जी, आपने भी जो सवाल उठाया, चाहे MMR हो IMR हो, बिल्कुल ये उम्मीद, these are important indicators that the Assam government, the opposition alleges, is not looking at. On the other side of this quick break, I will let you respond to that, and Gargi ji, I will also come back to you. Don't go anywhere. So we are putting our focus on this big move by the Assam government, where you have seen the Assam Chief Minister reiterating in the Assembly today, in fact he's roaring, that will never allow child marriage in his state until he's alive. What's also happened is the Assam Muslim Marriage and Divorce Registration Act of 1935 has been revealed. Now, we continue to have a panel of guests. We've been talking, and let's ask the BJP spokesperson also, about a lot of other concerns. That why is this, when you talk of the UCC, we do know that the state government already has indicated that you will be exempting the tribals. Now, when you go down to the tribals, a lot of them do, practice this polygamy, polyandry. These are practices that are still prevalent in the tribal communities. What happens to all that, Umi?
Tribal communities comprising 12.4% of the state population will be protected from the Uniform Civil Code. This already said by the Honorable Chief Minister of Assam. And we already, I just want to tell you one more point is that polygamy is illegal and criminalized in every country, North and South America, including all Europe and China. So already the core committee member already constituted by the Chief Minister. And I just want to tell one important thing is that Supreme Court lamented the fact that Article 44 defined in our constitution, we already know the directive principle of state policy, which imagine Uniform Civil Code has remained largely unimplemented. But I don't know the politician and opposition from the AYDF and other party why they don't want.
Okay, let's quickly ask Shahid before I get in Lokesh also for his word here. Shahid ji, उम्मीद कंटिन्यूसली यही बता रही है कि ये तो एक सोशल रिफॉर्म है, आप सबको साथ में आना चाहिए, हिंदू मुसलमान करने से क्या फायदा होगा आप लोग?
नहीं, मैं फिर भी एक बार कहूंगा, आप जरा देखिए शक्ल चीफ मिनिस्टर साहब की, किस तरह का वो बिहेव कर रहे हैं, किस तरह प्रोजेक्ट कर रहे हैं। देखिए, चाइल्ड मैरिज खत्म करना हम वेलकम करते हैं, लेकिन चाइल्ड मैरिज खत्म करने के नाम पर एक खूबसूरत एक्ट जो हमारे संविधान के तहत बना हुआ है कि साहब अपनी शादी को रजिस्टर करवाएंगे।
जी, वो खूबसूरत कैसे हो सकता है ना, जब उसमें चाइल्ड मैरिजेस हो रही थी। आपको नहीं लगता कि चाइल्ड मैरिज अभी भी एक बहुत बड़ी प्रॉब्लम है? लोकेश, हाउ वुड यू रिस्पॉन्ड टू शाहिद जी? क्रिटिसिज्म तो ठीक है, लेकिन उसमें ये कहना कि छोटे बच्चे और बच्चियों की शादी हो रही है, और लोकेश, दैट इज एक्सेप्टेबल। लोकेश,
see, there were a lot of shortcomings in the Hindu marriage also. And what we did was we came out with the reformed Hindu Marriage Act. We did not completely repeal Hindu Marriage Act. And along with that, there was a special marriage act also that was legislated. So what the Assam government should have done, it should have observed the directive principle of the state policy, Article 44, in letter and spirit. The minimum in this case has clearly stated that while following the part 4 of the Constitution, the state is required to make sure that it does not overstep or it does not ignore.
You still allege the state is overstepping its mandate. I've completely run out of time, Gargi ji, but if you can complete your words in 5 seconds only. Apologies, ma'am, 5 seconds.
I think Lokesh, as a learned person, should not see this from the prism of religion. Lokesh,
Okay.
I think you're an intelligent person. You cannot support.
All right. So are people
polygamy
viewing
or
this
any
reform with the chashma of religion is what Gargi ji and the BJP is alleging? We let our viewers decide and see where the story moves in. Umi, Gargi ji and all gentlemen, thank you so much. We are heading into a quick break. On the other side, we are back with lots more.